So here we have another really difficult platforming game from Pwnee Studios, which is called Cloudberry Kingdom. Pretty original game, pretty original concept. Hi, Jordan Fisher.
Hi, pleasure to be here.
How are you doing?
Yeah, thank you. Good.
This is really difficult. My colleague played at the Ubisoft Digital Days, and it was like, it's the most difficult platforming game I've ever played. Is that true?
It might be. We certainly wanted to make a game that could be that difficult, but it's possible to play as a more casual player too. So it can accommodate a lot of people, hopefully.
That's a good brand for it. It's the most difficult platforming game you've ever played.
Maybe. I mean, there's a lot of really difficult platformers, like Flash games. I Want to Be the Guy. It's kind of like a genre that's been developing for the last few years. So I think it's well established. It's really hard games, so we didn't want to just be super hard, even though we're really proud about how hard we are. We wanted to make sure the game was fun, even for someone who wasn't a masochist.
Maybe we can put it in the top along with the lines of VVV and Super Meat Boy, right?
I hope so, absolutely.
Okay, so this game is procedurally generated. It's a difficult to understand concept, maybe. What can you tell us about it?
I mean, we're all familiar with procedural generation from games like, Diablo, right, where random maps, it's different every time. For a platformer, it's been a little bit harder to make it random, right, because you can't just put things on the screen, right? You have to make sure that there's a way to get through, right? So, every level you see is always possible to beat. If you don't believe it, you can watch the computer and it'll figure out how to beat the level for you. So no matter how hard it is, it's always possible. So that was tough. We spent about a year just working on the algorithm. There's a lot of math. I have a math background, so it was a pleasure to be able to use those problem-solving skills.
How can the mathematics add to video games, and how can you use them aside from procedural generation?
Sure. I mean, it's all math at the end of the day, right? Whether it's the graphics or the physics or whatever, right? But I think what most people don't, I come from a math background, and the one thing they really pound into you after working in math for 10 years, right? It's not about equations, it's about problem solving. And what mathematicians really do is they take a problem that people haven't solved before and they try to find a new solution. And with that mindset, you can really approach a lot of things in video games.
Ubisoft deal was recently announced last week. What's the story behind it?
We've actually been working with them for over a year now, but they wanted us to be hush-hush. So we did a Kickstarter last summer, which was great. The community was really supportive, which was awesome. The week after the Kickstarter, we went to E3. We didn't know anybody, but we were just like, we're going to E3. And we showed the game to everybody, and Ubisoft was like, hey, we really like this. We like where you guys are going. And a couple months later, we were signed on with them. So
maybe they also liked it not just because of the difficulty or the dynamic generation, but also because of its really unique art style. What can you share about the art style?
So the game's been in development for 4 years, and we went through a lot of art styles. Originally, we had a more bubbly art style, which we really liked. It was really close to our heart. We went to Microsoft with the game, and they're like, we love the game, but redo the art. Which is fine, which is good advice, right? So actually, we ended up, after Kickstarter, we hired a great art studio, Tiger Hair Studios, located in Los Angeles. We've been working closely with them, and they have a really unique perspective on the art style, so it's been a pleasure to work with them.
You think it can be even more difficult to dynamically generate stuff with this? Like, this is a bit more complex than just bubbles and squares and.
It's a little bit more complex, but you put the work into it and you can get it polished. Yeah.
So this is the Wii U version. What other versions are you planning?
There's also an XBLA for Xbox, PSN for PS3, Vita, Steam, Mac, Linux. We really wanted to go crazy. It's our first game, so we really wanted to.
Almost everywhere.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's your first game. It's almost done, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So we just went into final quality assurance certification this week. So hopefully in about a month we'll be out on the market.
And next up for Pwnee?
That's a good question. I'll get back to you on that one. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Looking forward to die a lot here.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you.